is still protected by the SOTO law not to reveal a source.
Yes.
With that, do you agree?
I do understand the SOTO law, but there is an exception in the SOTO law that when
Alright, magandang araw sa atin lahat mga kababayan. Congressman Nograles ay nautal-utal ng mga kababayan po natin sa mga tanong ni Karen Davila patungkol sa isyu ng SMNI. Alam po natin na itong si Congressman Nograles ay isa sa mga nag-file ng resolution urging LTC para umano'y suspindihin muna ang kanilang prangkisa o ang kanilang operasyon habang nagpapatuloy ang investigation. Ngunit sa katanungan nga ni Karen Davila, mga kababayan po natin, dito tinanong kung ano nga ba ang pinakamalaking violation umano ng SMNI na kung bakit kailangan i-revoke ang kanilang prangkisa at kailangan muna silang suspindihin. At tinanong din ni Karen Davila ano ang masasabi ni Congressman Nograles sa umano'y prangkisa ng SMNI na ang nag-sponsor pala nung nakaraang Congress ay walang iba kundi ang kanyang kapatid na si Carlo Nograles. Kaya nga naman mga kababayan po natin ay mukhang nahihirapan itong si Congressman Migs Nograles kasi mukhang kulang ang kanyang kaalaman pagdating sa isyu ng SMNI.
But at the end of the day, whether you like the commentator or not, he is still protected by the SOTO law not to reveal a source.
Yes.
With that, do you agree?
well, lumabas po yun during the hearing, and I do understand the SOTO law, but there is an exception in the SOTO law that when
Which
it
is
comes
what?
to national security, diba po?
But what makes that national security? I mean, I'm calling out a public official, regardless if it were the speaker or not, on Prince spent. And the reason I know this is because radio commentators from mainstream media have done it with past presidents.
Yes,
Hindi naman sila pinatawag sa hearing.
yes po. I understand that.
Because
So
what
after
makes,
po,
on this particular end, what makes Congress the editorial chief of a free press?
So, okay, with that, hindi naman po, sinabi ko naman po rin when I did the sponsorship speech of this is not a oppression of the freedom of the press. No. But kung meron silang mga violations, they have to be accountable for that.
I agree. I
And
absolutely agree. This is not about you.
Yes.
This is really just as a whole.
Yes.
This is as a whole, right?
Mhm.
If the commentator didn't hit on the speaker, would Congress have acted? If he, let's say, hit an opposition person, somebody irrelevant to the supermajority,
Yes.
would Congress have come to the defense of the free
Well,
press
this
or
stem from-
disinformation?
But this stem from various resolutions na po, no?
Yeah, but
And
no,
at the same time,
answer my question.
yes.
So sobrang layo ang mga kasagutan ni Congressman Nograles, mga kababayan po natin, na mukhang hindi niya naiintindihan itong mga katanungan ni Karen Davila. Pati nga ang umano'y itong SOTO law ay hindi niya alam at mukhang hindi niya masyadong maipaliwanag kung bakit hindi umano saklaw nitong SOTO law itong si Ka-Eric, mga kababayan po natin. Aba, mukhang kinakabahan, mukhang kulang sa kaalaman o ano ba? Hindi alam ni Congressman Nograles ang mga sagot na kailangan ni Karen Davila o baka kailangan niya, mga kababayan po natin, itong si Atty. Tolentino para naman magre-relax ito at mukhang kikiligin at makapaghugot habang sumasagot sa mga katanungan, mga kababayan po natin. Kasi mukhang walang maayos, malinaw na sagot itong si Congressman Nograles, mga kababayan po natin, at mukhang tanong at sagot ni Karen Davila ang nangyayari sa interview ito, mga kababayan po natin.
Would the supermajority in Congress, as I say, I have no love lost here
Yes,
for
yes.
SMNI, but this is a matter of principle. If
Yes,
it was
po.
not the speaker who was hit, would congressmen have acted in the same manner?
Like I said, so hindi lang po naman yun kasi yung nandoon sa resolution po. Meron din pong pagkatama sa may mga ibang resolutions po rin na na-file on this red tagging, on this misinformation
So
and
let's
all.
talk about red tagging. I'm curious.
Napakasimple ang tanong kung umano ay may mga allegation hindi kay kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez sa opposition. Magpapatawag ba umano sila ng ganitong pagdinig kagaya ng ginawa sa SMNI? Hindi niya masagot eh. Ang sinasabi niya lang, kasi may mga dati na umanong resolution na kailangan talaga imbestigahan itong prangkisa ng SMNI News. Tandaan natin mga kababayan, nagsimula ang issue nitong pagdinig sa House of Representatives dahil umano sa paratang. Ngunit para sa atin, ito ay isang katanungan na nagtatanong lamang itong si Ka-Eric tungkol sa 1.8 billion na umano'y travel fund ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez. So hindi niya masagot anong nangyari kay Congressman Atty.Migs Nograles, mga kababayan po natin.
The irony of this is SMNI's 2019 franchise, the franchise was renewed in 2019.
Yes po.
Okay. Your brothers sponsored the franchise renewal of
Yes.
SMNI.
Yes.
Right. So we're talking about now Secretary Carlo Nograles when he was in Congress and Jericho Nograles. They sponsored the SMNI renewal.
Yes.
Didn't they spot the violations before they sponsored it?
Well, when you sponsor something and when Congress does something, syempre it's a privilege that's given, right? This has nothing to do with who has authored it. Now it has to do with binigyan kayo ng privilege. You're supposed to be following.
But I agree.
What-
I have no debate on that.
Yes.
The issue I'm asking is, I agree with your principles completely. So it leads me to this question. Isn't franchise revocation or renewal really just used at times? It's about who sits in power. Because, I mean, let me move back. I've asked this.
Mm-mm.
ABS situation is different in the sense
Yes.
that the franchise expired. But that's a mainstream media network that it could have been renewed. But the powers at be didn't want.
Mm-mm.
So ang tanong ko nga ito, if these violations have been going on, weren't these spotted by the very congressmen, one, two, your brothers, and the other colleagues you work with today?
Yes.
Did they
Well,
spot this? In other
during
words,
that
the
time,
violations were going on, and let's just renew them anyway.
well, I cannot speak on behalf of the past Congress po. What we're looking into now is that there are violations that's happening. And wala po akong magagawa kung sila po, di ba, nag-sponsor po na to at pinasa po ng past Congress. And I'm not saying anything that mali yung ginawa ng past Congress to do that. It's within their right to pass it. We're looking into what's happening now, and we are seeing violations. So let's not get confused here na iba po yung, okay, in the past Congress, this was renewed, yes. But right now, we're looking into violations now because there are violations that we are seeing.
Mm-mm. And of the violations, what is the strongest? What is the strongest violation that would merit a revocation? Because to comment on he's wrong. Okay, clearly he was wrong in the facts, but that doesn't alone constitute a revocation because there's so many commentators that are wrong, right?
Yes.
It happens, right? So ang tanong ko, what is the strongest and clearest violation of the franchise?
Well, hindi po nagsisimula ang pag-hear po with regard to the revocation. So, wag natin pangunahan po.
So mga kababayan po natin, malinaw na mukhang wala namang violation umano itong SMNI. Kasi ang tanong sa kanya kung anong nakita niyang violation, ang sagot niya lang ay hindi pa umano nagsisimula ang investigation. Bakit gusto niya na ikansila or gusto niya na isuspindi muna ang operation nitong SMNI News kung hindi naman siya sigurado kung ano nga ba ang pinakamalaking violation, rason para kailangang suspindihin muna ang operation ng SMNI habang nagpapatuloy ang investigation sa kanilang prangkisa. So mukhang isang katangahan at puro pagpapakyut lamang ang ginagawa ni Migs Nograles, kung napansin niyo po mga kabayan sa interview ito.
Because that's another hearing. What we did and what we adopted is our resolution to urge NTC because of the violations, the possible violations on their franchise. So that would be for another hearing naman po on the House bill that was filed on the revocation.
And I think another issue for many people today is you have Congress now fighting against disinformation. But during the past administration, disinformation was actually, it was tolerated.
I can't speak for the past congressman.
So
Mrs.
you
Karen.
have the same people angry with disinformation today, but it was used against journalists, opposition lawmakers. This information was used for the past 6 years, was tolerated by Congress.
That's the previous Congress po, Ms. Karen, and I can only say really with regard to the resolution that I filed that we adopted. As per that, I cannot really speak on behalf of the other congressmen and the past Congress po as much as wala po talaga. Hindi po ako abogado po nila. And I'm only just one vote in Congress. And simply, dito lang po tayo sa resolution ko, even with a heavy heart at taga Davao din naman.
So kita naman natin mga kabayan kung may tama ba ang kanyang mga sagot. So obviously wala po mga kababayan po natin. Kasi ang isa dito sa pinupunto ni Karen mga kababayan ay nung dating administrasyon ay marami naman yung ganitong klaseng katanungan o allegation. Ngunit hindi lamang pinapansin ng Kamara or House of Representatives pati ang administrasyon ni dating Pangulong Digong. So bakit ngayon ay napakasensitibo umano nila mga kababayan po natin? Obviously, ito nga yung pattern na lahat ng mga social media platform or kasama nga itong SMNI News kung saan pwede makapagsalita or pwede gamitin sa paglalabas ng ilang issue sa ating gobyerno ngayon, itong pambabatikos sa House of Representatives, na alam naman natin itong SMNI News ay ginagamit nga ni dating Pangulong Digong dahil may programa siya para magsalita patungkol sa administrasyon, magbibigay ng kanyang komento sa loobin. Ngunit ito ay part po mga kababayan po natin ng isang malayang merkado ng pagpapahayag. Dahil nasa demokrasya po tayo, karapatan ng bawat isa nang magbigay ng kanilang komento, opinion man o sa loobin patungkol sa issue o magtanong patungkol sa mga nakaupo sa pwesto na sa ating gobyerno. Lalo na pagdating sa pundo, pera, expenses na ginagamit nila, which is pera ng taong bayan. Tingnan nyo mga kababayan po natin, hindi nila nilabas kung saan ginagamit itong extraordinary expenses, itong umano'y travel fund nila, hindi nila sinasagot kung saan mapupunta itong sobra sa 2.66 billion na travel fund nila. So ngayon humihingi na naman sila ng dagdag na 1.3 billion, I think, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, para sa 2024. So which is ang kanilang ginagastos ay 40 million lamang. Napakalayo para sa kanilang actual na hinihinging budget, mga kababayan po natin. At maya-maya lamang ay tatalakayin din po natin dahil ayon sa kanilang inaprubahan na pondo ay nagdagdag umano ng budget itong House of Representatives. So binawasan nila itong confidential fund o talagang tinanggal 100% ang confidential fund ng Office of the Vice President at ng Department of Education, pero nagdagdag sila ng kanilang pondo sa House of Representatives. So napaka-unfair po mga kababayan po natin kung saan itong ahensya ng ating gobyerno na nangangailangan ng karagdagang pondo, budget para maproteksyonan ang mga estudyante, ang ating mga kabataan, lalo-lalo na sa pagre-recruit nitong mga makakaliwang grupo, pero binawasan. So tingnan nyo mga kababayan po natin, Mig Nograles nag-file ng isang resolution para suspindihin nga itong SMNI News. Pero hindi niya halos masagot at mapaliwanag ang mga katanungan ni Karen Davila. So malinaw na mukhang kulang din sa kaalaman itong si Congressman Atty.Migs Nograles. I think kailangan niya ata si Atty. Tolentino. So at yan lang po yung ating update mga kababayan po natin. Ano po ang inyong komento sa loobin patungkol sa issue ito? Huwag kalimutan i-comment. At yan po ang ating update. Maraming salamat hanggang sa muli mga kababayan.